Yeshakar Kvod Arav, and all the very wonderful Mitpalalim Chashuvim Ma'od. I was thinking, Kabbalat HaTorah, Ki Ish Echad Be'elev Echad, there's no distinction, there's no Sfardi, there's no Ashkenazi, there's no Litvak, there's no Hasid. Everybody is a tzaddik. Everybody is a Hasid in the original meaning of the word. Everybody is ready to rise to the highest levels, and they are all together as one. There was no kinah, there was no taharut, there was no competition. Everybody was excited that the other person reached the madrega that he reached. In that respect, by the way, if you open up the Rambam at the end of Hilchot Melachim, when he speaks about Yemot HaMashiach, you get the same sense of exactly what was happening at Har Sinai. The title of my shiur is Torah MiSinai and Torah MiZion. Torah MiSinai, this is Kabbalat HaTorah, this is Chag Shavuot. Torah MiZion, when we open up the Aharon HaKodesh, we say the Pasuk, Ki MiZion tetzeh Torah u'dvar Hashem Yerushalayim. And of course, the question is obvious because the Torah comes from the Midbar. The Torah comes from every place. There is no specific place. And if there is a specific place, it's Har Sinai. Ki MiZion tetzeh Torah. What does it mean that the Torah comes out of Sion? And I think that if you want to really fully understand and comprehend this, we have to actually go through the history of Klal Yisrael in a very specific way. There is a principle in the original geometry in the time of Euclid. This is the geometry that little children learn even today. The geometry says parallel lines never meet. You have two lines exactly equal and they go straight across, and you can assume as an axiom, as a principle, that in the same way that they're not meeting here, they're never going to meet. Actually, there is a much more advanced geometry where the rules that were axiomatic once upon a time in the time of Euclid no longer apply. And that geometry tolerates the possibility that parallel lines can meet, as counterintuitive as it is and as illogical as it seems. On the logical level of the human being, we don't even understand what does it mean, parallel? Then they're not parallel lines. What I'm driving at is the history of Klal Yisrael and the relationship of Yaakov and Esav. Yaakov and Esav, Shnei goyim mime'ayich yiparedu. And they are walking together. And Esav says to Yaakov, I will go with you. And Yaakov says, no. You go ahead. I have to go slowly. Chazal speak about that moment of their confrontation with one another. And there's a question if even at that moment there was tremendous sin'ah in the heart of Esav, or just for that moment, nichmeru rachamav. But everyone is maskim, biyadua she'esav soneh li'Yaakov. That's part of the rule of history. But it's not going to be forever. Shnei goyim bevitneich, mime'ayich yiparedu, and they go their ways. But eventually, there is not only a reconciliation, but there is, in fact, the transformation of history. But I would like to explain the plan of HaKadosh Baruch Hu in that history. Echad haya Avraham. Avraham Avinu discovers HaKadosh Baruch Hu, and he has one agenda from the moment that he discovers Hashem and he breaks the idols in his father's store. He is going to bring the world in its entirety back to HaKadosh Baruch Hu. You have a very beautiful description of the efforts of the great Echad Haya Avraham, in the Rambam's first chapter of Hilchot Avodah Zarah. But you know what happened was, suddenly, almost out of the blue, even though he was influential and inspiring, young and old, intelligent and simple, Avraham megayer et anashim v'Sarah megayeret et anashim. They were an unbelievable team. Everything was done b'kosher u'b'sniut, but they were changing the world. And you know, to change, you have to be in a civilization. If you change the civilization, you inspire the intellectuals, you can change everybody. Suddenly, HaKadosh Baruch Hu comes to Avraham Avinu and he says to him, Avraham, lo zu haderech. What do I want from you? Lech lecha me'aretzecha, mimoladatecha, mibet avicha. And where should I bring you? I bring you to the strip of land which doesn't know any civilization. There are minor kings fighting with each other all the time. Arba'a melachim, chamisha melachim. There's nothing going on there. There's no sophistication, there's no heritage, there's no culture. They're not building pyramids in that little strip of land called Eretz Canaan. They're not doing anything. And HaKadosh Baruch Hu says, this is your land. This is your land. And I will make from you a great nation. And meanwhile, he doesn't have anything. Doesn't even have children. By Brit Milah, the Ribbono Shel Olam tells him, you're going to have a son by the name of Yitzchak. Okay? And Ishmael? No, not Ishmael. Ishmael will be very big. He will be very big. Lu Yishmael Yechel Lefanecha. So he's very big, so Memele, my message will go through Yishmael. Kadosh Baruch Hu says, no, not Yishmael. So it's not the whole world, not the big civilizations, not the civilization of Israel, not the civilization of the Babylonians, the Chaldeans. No, this little strip of land, that's where I want you to be. And not even your whole family. Not even your whole family. But you're going to have a son of Yitzchak. A son by the name of Yitzchak, I'm going to give you the name. You'll call him Yitzchak, and my covenant is going to be between me and Yitzchak. But the pasuk says, "Ki beYitzchak yikarei lechazara." And what do Chazal say? It's not enough that it's just Yitzchak. It's not even all of Yitzchak. Huh? BeYitzchak v'lo kol Yitzchak. HaKadosh Baruch Hu is mitzamtzem him, mitzamtzem him, mitzamtzem. He's limiting him and shriveling him. And Avraham Avinu midat hachesed, he wants to explode with the knowledge of Hashem. Avraham Ohavi. Avraham is the one that is the lover of God. He's the one who wants HaKadosh Baruch Hu's reputation to grow and to grow. And Hashem says, go to this no man's land, and it's only Yitzchak, and not even all of Yitzchak. That's what I believe from this perspective. The nisayon of the Akedah was that HaKadosh Baruch Hu was telling him not even Yitzchak. He's taking the Midat HaChesed and he's confining it, and then finally it is almost extinguished. Nothing. And of course, Yitzchak remains alive. He's the Olat Tamimah, but he remains alive. And he is marrying Rivka, and they have children, twins. And from these two, it's very fascinating. Esav is Edom. Who is Edom? Rome. Who is Rome? This galut that we are in. So now Yaakov goes his way, and he is the father that is the Av HaGalut. He spends so many years away from home. And then when he finally gets home, Bikesh Yaakov Leshev B'Shalva, and then he has the Mechirat Yosef, and the whole episode of going down to Mitzrayim, Yaakov ends up in Mitzrayim, and he dies in Mitzrayim. And the Jews sojourn in Mitzrayim 400 years, whatever the cheshbon is. And finally they come out of Mitzrayim and they come to Madrega after Madrega to Har Sinai. You know what the Medrash says? The Medrash says the name of the mountain is Horev. In fact, when HaKadosh Baruch Hu reveals himself to Moshe Rabbeinu at the very beginning, in the Sneh, what is that place called? Har Elokim Horeva. It's called Horev. So Chazal asks them, why do you call it Sinai? So Chazal have a very interesting expression. Shemisham yarda sin'a le'omot ha'alam. And here is a very interesting mahloket. What does that mean? Hatred descended from Har Sinai to the nations of the world. But as many Ma'marei Chazal go, they lend themselves to different interpretations. So the Maharal MiPrague, for example, and others, they say it means Hashem hates the Umot HaOlam. Amad vayimoded eretz ra'a vayater goyim. They're not interested in the Torah. They're not even interested in keeping the Sheva Mitzvot B'nai Noach. But there is another understanding. I don't know which is in the majority. But the other understanding has many proponents. And that is that what happened at Har Sinai was that hatred from the Goyim against Bnei Yisrael. It's back to Esav and Yaakov. Biyadua she'esav soneh. You know why? The Bechorah, the Beracha, the Kedusha. They hate the fact that HaKadosh Baruch Hu chooses us. The minute that HaKadosh Baruch Hu said, V'atem te'yu li mamlechet kohanim v'goy kadosh. Imagine, Hashem says, Atem te'yu li, before he even get to the words mamlechet kohanim v'goy kadosh. He says, te'yu li, harei at mikudeshet li. Unbelievable. You think they didn't hear it? You know, they were waiters in the kitchen. And they heard those words by the Chatunah. And they said, what do you mean? Just you? What about us? So, you know, Sin'ah comes from Kin'ah mostly. And it's not my idea. The Rabbeinu Bachai, many Sefarim say this. They hate us because they know the Emet. They hate us, they know that we are the chosen people. Even today, Ad Hayom, they hate us, and the Sin'ah is rising. It doesn't matter, we could be in our own country. It's not your country. It's the Palestinians' country. You have no right to it. You have to be a vagabond. You have to be a wanderer. You know why? Because how can we have that holy place called Eretz Yisrael? But it doesn't come just from that. How do you have the Torah? How do you survive all those thousands of years of Galut? What's your magic? What's your secret? How come you're so smart? How do you get all those Nobel Prizes? In South Korea, they are teaching Gemara. What do they have to do with Shosha Nagachet Apara? What do they have to do with the Gemara? They know the secret of the Jewish creativity, the Jewish mind. Where did you get that Albert Einstein from? And the Jews, they took over the whole world. You know, the most important and most dominant company right now is Facebook. Zuckerberg. Unbelievable. The Jews are taking over the world. The Jews own all the banks. The Jews own all the newspapers. There's a joke that there were two Jews sitting in the subway and they were reading newspapers. One of them is reading a Jewish paper and the other one is reading an Arab paper, Palestinian news. So he says to him, "Sugar that you are, what are you reading this paper for?" He says, "I'll tell you why. I used to read the Jewish paper and it describes one tzara after another. We are suffering here and anti-Semitism there. I open up the Goyish newspaper and you know what it says? It says we own the banks and we own the newspapers and we're very rich and it's good. It's wonderful. I feel good about myself. Rabotai, the Sinah started with Esav, with Yaakov. Shnei goyim mime'ayich yiparedu. They split apart. Ul'om mil'om yamatz v'ravi avod sa'ir. Vaya kashet taridu farata ulo me'at savarecha. You add it all up and you get Yaakov and Esav in all the Dorot. But when they came to Har Sinai, and HaKadosh Baruch Hu said, Atem tiyu li, that was the end. Misham yerda sina'ah, that the Umot Ha'olam, the Goyim, have towards us. We have the Emet, we have the Torah. It's unbelievable. So that's Torah MiSinai. And this continues in all the generations. But you know, we say something. Rosh Hashanah. Uv'chein tein pachtecha. Uv'chein tein kavod. Uv'chein tzadikim. In the middle of the Musaf, we say, Aleinu l'shabeach. We say it every single day. We say it after every tefillah. Aleinu l'shabeach is part 1 of the history of Klal Yisrael. This is the part that says, HaKadosh Baruch Hu said, Atem tiyu li, you are the one and only. You are my betrothed, you are my beloved. The relationship that I have with you, that's it. Shelo asanu gogoye ha'arasot, lo samanu kimishpachot ha'adama, shehem mishtahavim lehevel varik, v'anachnu korim mishtachavim modim. For whom? Melech Malchei HaMelachim, HaKadosh Baruch Hu. It's true, he created the universe. Noter Shamayim, Yoser Eretz. It's true, it's true, it's true. But L'maaseh, who is the one who recognizes you? Who's the one who appreciates you? Who's the one that is related to you? Who's the one that's married to you? Aleinu l'shabeach. But when it comes to Malchuyot, we start Malchuyot with a very important Hakdama, which is the second half of Aleinu. Al-Kein Nikaveh. That's our dream. Our dream is that HaKadosh Baruch Hu should be Melech al Kol Haaretz. Our dream is that HaKadosh Baruch Hu's awareness, the awareness of Hashem in the whole world. Malach Haaretz De'ah et Hashem. We want Lirot Mehera B'Tiferet Uzecha La'avir Gilulim, to get rid of all the Avodah Zarah. And Avodah Zarah doesn't just mean idols and statues. Yakiru v'yaidu kol yoshvei tevel ki lecha tikra kol berech. Everybody's knee will kneel just to you. We know no other gods, no other values, no other purposes, no other agendas. It's unbelievable. So when is this going to happen? Al-Kein Nikaveh, we are dreaming about it. So you know, it's very interesting. All those thousands of years of Galut, they hate us and hate us and hate us. And it's not a hatred that they hide in their stomachs. It's a hatred that comes out with pogroms and massacres. You want to know an interesting thing? I think about my own family and the family of my Rabbanit, of my Rebbitzin. It's unbelievable. Her mother had a mother, a maternal grandmother. She was one of, 17 children. One survived. I repeat, one survived Hitler. And the whole extended family, gone. Her father's father and her father's mother. Lithuania, Vilna, killed by the Nazis with the Lithuanian guards in a forest outside of Vilna, murdered. His parents, you're going back already one more generation, 1920, killed in a pogrom in a Ukrainian town called Chvoina. My side. Now it's my turn. My father and my mother, they come from Vilna. entire families gone. My father and my mother were in the Vilna ghetto like rats in a sewer. It's not just a theoretical sinah because of some philosophy. Crusades, shmad, inquisitions, Gerush Sfarad, the Inquisition in Spain, the Inquisition in Portugal. They were driven out of Spain, they were driven out of Portugal. They were driven out of England. It's unbelievable what we went through. Khmelnytsky massacres. You know that they took live cats and they opened up the stomach. I'm not even supposed to say something like this because it's so horrendous. They cut open the stomachs of young girls and they put the live cats inside and sewed it back on. The cats were jumping around and eventually, of course, they died. In tremendous torment. The rishus of these goyim. And it's a miracle that we survived. It's an absolute miracle. Ki lo yitosh Hashem amo v'nachalato lo ya'azov. ואף גם זאת בהיותם בארץ אויביהם לא מעשנים ולא גאלתים לכלותם. Every day there's another Purim that we don't even know about. And even in Eretz Yisrael, there's no menucha. So it's al kein nekaveh, we are dreaming. So when will it actually come to an end? So we open up a very remarkable thing. You open up Sefer Yeshayahu. The first chapter is such a difficult chapter. And you know how difficult it is? It's the Haftorah. The Haftorah that says, I am sad enough and disturbing enough. And I'm so full of Churban that I am being read right before Tisha B'Av. Chazon Yeshayahu ben Amos. But you go one chapter more, Perek Bet. It's unbelievable. Perek Bet is another Nevu'ah. There's another Nevu'ah of Yeshayahu. It's unbelievable. And it's also Chazon. Hadavar asher chaza Yeshayahu ben Amos al Yehuda v'Yerushalayim. V'haya ba'acharit hayamim. It'll be at the end of days. We don't know when all of the end of days is going to be. Ba'acharit hayamim nachon yiyeh beit Hashem berosh harim. That the mountain of the house of Hashem will be high, way, way up there. And then it says, V'naharu elav kol hagoyim. All the nations will stream, nahar, a river. They will stream to this Har Hashem. V'halchu amim rabim. Be many different nations, many different philosophies, many different perspectives, but everybody streaming to Yerushalayim, to the Beit Hashem. V'amru l'chu v'na'aleh al Har Hashem el Beit Elokei Yaakov. Let us rise up and go to the mountain of Hashem, to the house of the God of Jacob. Bet Elokei Yaakov. All the nations of the world will suddenly have an idea in their heads that they have to go up to Yerushalayim, to the place which is the house of the God of Yaakov. Esav is talking, and he says, I want to go up to the house of the God of Yaakov. And you know what that means? Between the lines. You see, if it's the house of the God of Abraham, then all the descendants of Abraham can lay claim to it. Then Yishmael says, that's me. You know, just like Yishmael says that the Akedah was with Yishmael. It's not Elhar Bet Abraham. It's not Elhar Elokei Abraham. Lo Abraham shekra'o Ohar, says the Gemara Masechet Pesachim. But lo Yitzchak, because you know if it's Yitzchak, maybe Esav has a chelik in it. Isn't it amazing? We identify Yishmael with the Arabs, with the Muslims. We identify Esav with the Christians. And they both have claims today to the mountain, to the Har Beit Hashem, to the Har HaMoriah, Al-Quds. But in the future, says the Navi Yeshayahu in the second chapter, after all that chapter of Churban, number 1, comes the chapter number 2. The chazon that he saw in the future is going to be all the nations of the world will stream and they will go to Beit Elokei Yaakov, because you see, if it's Yaakov, nobody has a claim. Because Yaakov, mitato shleima, there were no other children. There's no competition. Everyone is in agreement. Everyone is maskim. It is the place for Yaakov to be central. So why are you going there? So if it belongs to Yaakov, so why are you going there? Why are all the nations streaming? What's the answer? The answer continues the pasuk. And everybody knows the second half of that pasuk. MiZion tetzeh Torah, udvar Hashem Yerushalayim. What is the pasuk saying? All of a sudden, that the Torah is going to come out of Sion, and this is a Torah that everybody will want to know. Everybody will ask, you're Jewish? Teach me how to be a person. You're Jewish? Teach me how to know Hashem. You are Jewish? I love you because you are my teacher. I embrace you because you are my mentor. It's a dream. It's a dream that we can't even imagine right now. But of course, if you believe Mashiach can come at any moment, you believe the world can change at any moment. You see the world now. And what was the world like 6 months ago, 3 months ago? World can change in a moment. And today, Mashiach, we have no problem understanding that Mashiach can reach every single person on earth in 10 seconds. Rabotai, the second nevuah is not talking about Torah MiSinai. There's no sinah, there's no kenah. Everything's changed. All of a sudden, everybody's maskim. Everybody agrees there's a Hashem in the world. Everybody agrees that the nation that HaKadosh Baruch Hu chose, they are the teachers and the mentors. That's the Pshat Mamlechet Kohanim. Because Mamlechet Kohanim means that we will be the Kohanim for the world. This is the remarkable, remarkable idea that is being presented to us in the expression Torah MiSinai versus Torah MiZion. It's the history of the world. It's from the moment that the Torah was given and only we embraced it, and the Goyim hated us for it and made us suffer for it all these centuries. But then there's Torah MiZion. Ki MiZion tetzeh Torah. But where is that pasuk? Like this we could think. Torah MiZion, what does it mean? It means the Sanhedrin was in Lishkat HaGazit. It means that there are many Talmidei Chachamim in Eretz Yisrael full of Talmidei Chachamim. MiZion tetzeh Torah. They write a lot of Sefarim, they write a lot of Chidushei Torah, they teach a lot of Torah. That's not it. The place where it says in Tanakh, in Yeshayahu, Perek Bet, Ki MiZion, and also it's in the Navi Micha, by the way, almost word for word. Micha found this thing so profound and so important that he repeated it, Kemat Milah B'Milah. Where is it found? All the nations of the world will come and ask, teach us. We want you to teach us. We want to know Hashem, and we know that you know Hashem, and you'll be able to teach us. So where are they streaming to? They're streaming to Yerushalayim. And what is Yerushalayim in their minds? The place of Elokei Yaakov. It's yours. We agree. We finally agree. It's all yours. There's no sinah. You know why? Because there's no kinah. Finally, Esav is makir that Yaakov deserves the Bechorah. Finally, he's makir. The V'atem tiyu li is a good thing. And HaKadosh Baruch Hu's vision of the world will ultimately achieve the incredible dream of Avraham Avinu. Because it's not from Avraham, and it's not from Yitzchak. And Yaakov goes into a long galut where each one goes. But Yaakov says to him in that parasha of Vayishlach, He says to Esav, his brother, I will go my way slowly. Slowly could be thousands of years. Ad asher avo el Adoni Seira. And Chazal say we never found that Yaakov ever ended up in Seir. So the pshat is he made him crazy. He told him a promise because he should let him go and go away. Go away. Tells Esav, go away. I'll meet you there. I'll be there. But of course he had no intention. But the deeper meaning is that these parallel lines will eventually merge as one. It's an unbelievable idea. The idea is that Esav needs to learn from Yaakov ba'acharit hayamim. And that vision is very remarkable. That vision is enshrined in the words, Ki MiSion tetzei Torah. When a Jew confronts the Goy, in the back of his mind, he knows that eventually the Goy is going to agree with him. You know, it's a remarkable thing. Rabbi Akiva, you know, they were torturing him to death. You know that. They were cutting his skin off of his face. And he was looking for the opportunity to be Mekadesh Shem Shamayim Barabim. And he screamed out, Shema Yisrael Hashem Elokeinu Hashem Echad. Yas'a nishmato be'echad. What's the deeper meaning of that? Okay, he was Mekadesh Shem Shamayim, he said Hashem Echad. The Roman, they believe in a lot of gods, and they have their ascendancy, they're powerful, they're running the world. They're torturing Rabbi Akiva, and Rabbi Akiva says, it doesn't matter, but I believe what I believe. But there's a much deeper meaning to it, and it's very hopeful. It's brimming with tremendous confidence. And when we're coming to Kabbalat Torah from Har Sinai, Sham Yada Sin'ah, it's very important to have that confidence. Rabbi Akiva was living and dying at the hardest time in the history of Klal Yisrael. The hardest time. Beit HaMikdash was destroyed, the Bar Kokhba rebellion was quelled. 1 million Jews were killed. Proportionately, maybe more than even in the time of Hitler, when 1/3 of Klal Yisrael was wiped out. We don't know how many Jews. But one thing, anybody that learns Chumash with Rashi, what does Rashi say on the words, Hashem Elokeinu, Hashem Echad? So Rashi says, Elokeinu is very narrow. It's very mitzumtzam, it's very confined. He is our God because the rest of the world does not recognize him. So he's Elokeinu. But Hashem is going to be Echad. Meaning, of course, he's always one. But in this particular Hashem Elokeinu, Hashem Echad, there's a movement of history. And there's going to come a time when the whole world recognizes HaKadosh Baruch Hu. That's what Rashi says. The meaning of Hashem Elokeinu, Hashem Echad. It says, Va'alu Moshe'im B'Har Sion, Nishpot et Har Esav. V'ya Hashem Lemelech al Kol Haaretz. What's going to be Bayom Hahu? Yeh Hashem Echad, U'Shmo Echad. So Hashem Elokeinu now, Hashem Echad la'atid lavo. I think that Rabbi Akiva was saying to the Roman who was ripping the flesh off of his face, the Roman who was about to release his neshama to Shamayim, the Roman who was the Sonei Yisrael, the Roman who was the descendant and the representative of Esav Sonei Yaakov. He was saying to him, right now, Hashem Elokeinu. But you, Roman, if it's not you, it'll be your son. And if it's not your son, it's your grandson or your descendants for many generations. But one day, You Romans will say, L'chu v'na'aleh et har Hashem el bet Elokei Yaakov. MiZion tetzeh Torah. And we will teach you. And that will be the time that is called Hashem Echad. Like Rashi says. It's unbelievable. It's mamish unbelievable. And that's when history will come full circle. And Avraham Avinu's vision. HaKadosh Baruch Hu said to Avraham Avinu, you think you're going to change the world instantaneously? That's not my plan. My plan requires something called Klal Yisrael, B'Yitzchak v'lo kol Yitzchak, and Yaakov, mitato shleima. And he's going to go down to Mitzrayim, and there's going to be galut after galut after galut, with binyan and churban and binyan and churban. And eventually, the hatred that they received the Torah, that HaKadosh Baruch Hu said, Atem tiyuli, you'll be mine, I am married to you, we are one. And the rest of the world, that's something else. And they hate us, and they have jealousy, and they have anger and resentment, because they can't accept it, even though they admire it. They admire it, but in a very, very virulent and unhealthy way. They think we're monsters of tremendous capacity. They think we are devils. But there's going to come a time when that's all going to change. And that time is represented by the expression Hashem Echad. Safa Achas. Safa Achat. Yatu Shechem Echad la'avodat Hashem. It's all one, one, one. The word one is repeated over and over. Hashem Echad. Because they're going to come and they're going to say, teach us. It's Bet Elokei Yaakov. It belongs to you. It all belongs to you. You, Klal Yisrael, will be our teachers. You, Klal Yisrael, we love you. Could you imagine a time that the nations, there's going to be a United Nations, And you know, the guy representative from Russia, he's going to get up and say, those Jews, they are the best and the brightest. They're so wonderful. Teach us. Then's going to come the representative of China, and he's going to be muscled in by North Korea, and he's going to be muscled on the other side by Venezuela, and by this one and by that one. And the little Palestinians, they're going to be crawling underneath the feet, and each one is going to try to get to the podium, to get to the microphone. And you know what they're going to say? We love Israel. Am Yisrael Chai. That's it. And that's by Yom Yeh Hashem Echad U'Shmo Echad. That's MiSion Tetzeh Torah. Dvar Hashem Yerushalayim. So we're going to be now Mekabel Torah. And that's going to be a wonderful thing, an unbelievable thing, but it's going to bring with it a lot of pain. But we know, we are confident, we believe in the Nuvah of Yeshayahu, in the commitment of Rabbi Akiva, that you Romans are going to change, and you're going to love us, and you're going to embrace us, Hashem Echad. So we come with that confidence, and our emunah is 1,000%. That what we see now is not the way it's going to be forever. We receive the Torah, we belong to Hashem, we give up our lives for HaKadosh Baruch Hu, Ki alecha haragnu kol hayom. But eventually it's all going to be for the best. And meanwhile, Ki hem chayenu v'orech yameinu, uvahem ne'egeh yomam v'layla. Have a very wonderful Yom Tov. Have a wonderful Hatzlacha b'chol ha'inyanim. Your great Rav should lead you madrega after madrega. I appreciate everything that Mal is doing for us, that he gives me the opportunity to be mitkasher still with this beautiful and wonderful Kehillah. And Kehillah Kadisha Haden. Bezat Hashem, we should be zocheta. Together we will see that moment of Yeshayahu Perek Bet. ונערו אליו כל הגויים, לכו נעלה אל הר השם אל בית אלוקי יעקב, כמסיון תעשה תורה, ודבר השם ירושלים. אמן ואמן.
חזק ואמץ, חזק וברוך, כבוד הרב.